On the call, enjoy.
Fish, Slay, Shoot 'em, and Peter Burns, we thank you so much here inside of Bridgestone Arena. Game 2, just about set, ready to go. Todd Pettiford testing the NBA waters after last season's run to the Final Four. He is back with work to do for the Tigers. And Josh Hubbard, well, we know what he can do again. Oway got it done. The mid-range game was there as the Cats survive LSU in the 9 versus the 16 matchup. Second of 4 games today. Kentucky gets Mizzou tomorrow, and the winner of this matchup will get Tennessee, the 5 seed in game 2 tomorrow afternoon. So glad you could join us. There is so much to talk about. John Crispin, Roy Philpott here in Music City. And for Auburn, listen, they're running out of games. They are on the bubble. They've got to find a way to win today and maybe a couple of more times here in Nashville.
Year 1 for Stephen Pearl. This is that point of the season where you want to be polishing your team as you head into March. But if he's polishing anything, it's kind of the narrative around why his team should be in. This is a game that probably more urgency on this team than even Kentucky coming in.
Joe Lunardi has Auburn as his first team out of the field. Stephen Pearl told us yesterday he believes his team has to win today and tomorrow against Tennessee to get the job done and make the big dance. Meanwhile, let's take you back in time. 21 days ago, Josh freaking Hubbard went off in the first 20 minutes, 35 points with 9 threes.
And 35 points in a half leaves a mark. It's not a mark you can buff out. You've got to overcome it somehow. The challenge is, how do you do it? Junk defense? Well, frankly, a junk defense ends up hurting yourselves at time, but it also opens up opportunities for guys like Jaden Epps, who can light it up for 3 if he gets loose.
He told his former teammate Keyshawn Murphy to give him a call. 46, second most in a single game in Bulldogs history. And he told us yesterday, I said, Josh, you called the first matchup something that was personal to you. What a goal. Somewhere a Missouri fan appreciates that thought. We're just about set, ready to go, or make that an Arkansas fan, I should say. The Bulldogs and Tigers, yeah. And Todd Pettiford. This Auburn team, the schedule's been brutal for a first-year head coach. They're trying to find a way to get back in Joe Lunardi's good graces. And the Tigers control the opening tip. Overton corralled it. Here comes Pettiford. Mississippi State ended that first meeting on an 18-5 run after giving up a huge lead. Good look inside to Keyshawn Murphy, and the former Bulldog with the first points. Quincy Ballard will be instructed to give up the basketball and allow Epps to inbound it again. We'll take a look at the starting 5 for MSU. Chris Jans told his team pregame, and they only have 40 minutes left. Let's go earn another 40 with a win, led by Hubbard, the second leading scorer in the SEC. And Sean Jones Jr., all 4 years spent in Starkville, the only player in the conference that can make that claim, the former walk-on from Houston. Here's Hubbard. Does he want it early? He does. Off the mark, the rebound grab by Murphy. Starting 5 for the Tigers: Pettiford, Overton, Keyshawn Hall, the transfer from UCF. Leading scorer in the Big 12 last year. He's led the charge for the Tigers this campaign. Good start for Murphy here. He's got all 4.
And he's gotten quick shot opportunities. Good offense, good spacing. I was most intrigued by what Auburn was going to do defensively. There was the idea that they would send 2 at Hubbard right away. I thought that could hurt them down the stretch. They're playing straight up, but a conscious awareness of where he's at all times.
Yeah, they started the second half with that trapping half-court pressure after he went for 35, and then Murphy with a little extracurricular right near the neck and face area of Hubbard. He didn't like it. He's called for the foul.
I think it's personal. I mean, look, you put up 35 on somebody in a half.
Well, Hubbard kind of
gets personal really quickly.
Kind of shoved his former teammate's arm himself, didn't he?
You guys know how to coax him into it.
We're always the loudest, you know. I think that's just natural. Lob inside, a Chor. Bulldogs on the board.
Quincy Ballard, the playmaking from the foul line area. Puts it on the deck just to draw defense, throws over the top. Good stuff.
Florida State, Wichita State transfer is Ballard. Good size, good frame. Murphy got all 7.
Oh, and he's jawing at his former bench and picks up a technical foul. That's just silly.
Well, there was a moment at the end of that first matchup where Josh Hubbard reminded Keyshawn Murphy, this is why you don't leave Mississippi State. And so far the response by Murphy has been on point.
I mean, you got to understand that that's a reality in the game today. If you leave, you're going to get the best of your former teammates. Josh Hubbard misses the first. I think it just adds to the intrigue. I kind of like it.
We like intrigue.
Yeah, I like it.
Second foul on Murphy. He doesn't like that. 1 of 2 for Hubbard, 7-3.
But it's just silly. You had such a good start. Like, don't do something that detracts from the hot start. Build upon it. But you get sucked up into the whatever in the game, you know, the pride battle. Just ball.
So Murphy has to sit on the bench for Stephen Pearl with the second foul off that technical. Hubbard comes up short. George Shore on the offensive glass. So a big loss for Auburn to start. He scored all 7 points for the Tigers. Epps will carve a path and connect.
That's big. Good physical drive where he got his body into Tahat Pettiford, created just enough space to get that shot off. But if you're Mississippi State, you've got to be really calculated with the unanticipated shots that Josh Hubbard can take. You've got to anticipate the unanticipated, and you could pick up a number of offensive rebounds like that ends up leading to a second chance opportunity.
John Hill provide you the jump stop and square the shoulders and somehow get it up over a much taller defender, Sean Jones Jr. We're tied at 7. Great first game in the books with Kentucky surviving LSU. Brilliant juice still in the building with these two. Second meeting in 3 weeks. Keyshawn Hall, kind of a Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway.
I don't think you're going to out-athlete Auburn, but you can out-physical them if you're Mississippi State. Auburn's got to really rely on their length, skill, and ability to create space and make good one-on-one basketball plays.
Epps has put up big numbers in his career. Stops at Georgetown in Illinois. Teaming up in the backcourt with Hubbard. Now it's Ballard. 1-on-2. Off to the left. Wild swings of momentum and scoring. First matchup between these two. Well short was Hall. Mississippi State went up big. Auburn came back. Led by 7 late before Josh Hubbard hit a 3 and lay up here. That was silky smooth.
Oh, that was really pretty. He even shot the finger roll with seams. Which makes it look even better. Yeah.
At the spin, it was perfect. Third team All-SEC is Hubbard. Second leading scorer in the conference. Back to Mississippi State.
Really good start. I'd say good start for both teams. Auburn being able to create space on the floor, find some easy opportunities. And the question was, at what point does Josh Hubbard get going? Watch the seams in a smooth, silky finish. You've got to take the jump shot away. The problem is help needs to be there early.
On ESPN and ABC is happening now. And right now, this season is unpredictable. The East is wide open, while the West challenges the Thunder. We know this rookie class is special. This MVP race is tight, and this crew is the best. So for Inside, Primetime, Showcase, Finals, and everywhere in between, there's one place to call home.
Now, Auburn's had some close losses this year. The buzzer beater that, well, really didn't count. Keyshawn Murphy, a 35-foot heave at the buzzer against Buckyball and Texas A&M. This is on January 6th, and I mean, this is as close as it gets. Stephen Pearl couldn't believe it. 90-88 was the final score. Look, that result, that review and outcome loom large right now because Auburn is 16-15. You take a look back in the history of the at-large appearances in the NCAA tournament. You got to win a couple of more just to be on that graphic.
he just reminds you how fragile it is. That goes the other way. It's a different conversation.
Hubbard off the left side. Davis Fleming. And the freshman up and in. Mississippi State grabs the advantage.
So much attention for where Josh Hubbard is at all times that at times you get taken off your position or your block and you give up an offensive rebound.
There goes Hall. It's off the leg, and somehow he got it back. Chor will close out. Hall goes baseline. Mashalik on the floor for the first time, and Overton misses the three. Steve Pearl told us yesterday, Blake Mashalik, into that Alabama game, he came in and gave some outstanding minutes off the bench. And so we got to get more of that. And Chor turns it over. So we'll get some early PT, and on cue, missed the layup under duress, and a foul call.
So much attention on Josh Hubbard. You watch, here's there. 1, 2, 3 defenders. The backside help is now out of position when the shot goes up because he had to help on the basketball. All 5 completely aware of where Josh Hubbard is, but you've got to maintain awareness of where the guy you're covering is too, because those are the guys that get offensive rebounds and really make the game hard.
4 of 8 at the free throw line this season for Mashalik. Averaging less than a point per game. But, you know, Coach Pearl made an outstanding point to us yesterday. The Alabama outcome was not what was desired by Auburn fans. But that was a lead in the second half at Coleman Coliseum that could have exploded to 35, 40, 50 points, and it didn't. It actually went the other way. And in terms of the metrics and the numbers, that really helps out Auburn's resume, and Mashalik was a big reason why in the plus-minus department. Kind of things shifted with him on the court in Tuscaloosa.
In more ways than one, it matters how you lose. I don't like how it is from a metric standpoint, but it's reality. And then from a fan standpoint, like your compete, the level of compete matters.
Here's Epps, contested 3. Davis Fleming. Mashalik at game. Play there, fading out of bounds, kept it alive. I felt really nerdy right there. And you start talking about wins above bubble. Wow, there's a lot of things happening this year on Selection Sunday that people have to be aware of. Overton, you got to be aware of Kevin Overton KO.
Just
the bucket.
Just right there, you felt nerdy? That was it?
I mean, just in terms of the nerdiness of metrics and resumes.
There's a lot that goes into it. I give Joe Lenardi all the credit in the world, the way he thinks he's got to follow.
Lob it inside to the freshman, Davis Fleming. And here comes Overton the other way. 6 minutes in, 2-point lead for the Tigers. Hall, significant contact. And Jabari McGee picks up his first.
Talk about making winning plays. Mashalik just does just that. Kind of rocking the throwback Bieber hair, but keeps this thing alive. And then pushing tempo, finding an easy opportunity. Overton takes a tough shot. But that's kind of the way this team plays. You keep things alive, you disrupt the game, you make tough shots, you take tough shots. That's kind of how this Auburn team is played. It's when they're at their best.
Stephen Pearl asking for more from his squad defensively. We saw that at Florida. We've seen that at times where this team has some impressive wins. St. John's, Gators, Arkansas, Kentucky. I mean, it has happened this year in moments.
It hasn't been for a lack of effort. That's something that's almost easier to correct. It's been, where were you? This isn't what we discussed, right? They're just rotational things that you've got to be on top of.
And a foul called on Williams Adams. That'll be his first. Free throws for McGee.
Talk about simulating what you're going to go up against. Josh Hubbard. How do you simulate that? McGee's another one. Like how many meatballs do you have on your bench to be able to simulate some of the physicality you're going to face from Mississippi State? I think that's something that you have to get into the game and quickly adjust to, because so far Mississippi State's been the more physical team on their drives.
I'm sorry, you said meatballs?
Yeah, I mean, look, McGee and Hubbard, the meatballs.
Okay. I mean, I am hungry. I didn't know if I heard you incorrectly there.
They're like Wagyu. Good ones.
See McGee later tonight for Oklahoma against South Carolina. McGee buries the second. A lot happening there. Auburn gets it back. Sergei Matsurav checks in for head coach Chris Gans. We talked to Chris Gans extensively a day ago, and he just rubs his two hands together. You know he's got something in the works for Auburn this afternoon. Williams Adams spins into three and a kiss to the crowd. 8th three-pointer of the season for the freshman from Houston.
Give Steve Pearl credit for the space they have on offense. This is a Mississippi State team that wants to pressure the ball, but if you have good spacing, you can start to pick out your pass. You become hard to defend.
Josh Hubbard being blanketed right now by Kevin Overton. Now it's McGee, stripped by Mashalik. And the effort for number 21 on full display to start.
Shaw-'s just done a terrific job, but on the other end, you've got to have 5 guys that are willing to commit to providing great space on the offensive end. This is just good stuff. You're making everybody space out, defend the three-point line, so when the action turns the quarter into the paint, you have to make the decision as a defender. Do I take away a potential layup, or do I leave a shooter? That time you leave a shooter, and it's another one to go. Good start for Auburn offensively.
17 to 12. A couple of threes, including one by Williams Adams. Perhaps he was watching Brandon Garrison in our first game today. Had 2 threes all year, then 2 threes in 49 seconds. Paul wants it. Ball on a string. Good defense by Davis Fleming. Overton. High degree of difficulty. Josh Hubbard time. Yes.
You just can't move him off his line. Right? Sometimes you try to match the physicality that he hits you with. It just doesn't bother him at all.
I think Stephen Pearl would tell you if Hubbard just had 35 points in their first meeting, Auburn probably finds a way to win. But the issue is he had 46. 35 in the first 20 minutes. Mashalik, flat 3, short. And a chore. Unorthodox box out of Williams Adams.
Now they're sending 2 right at him. Not going to allow him go right into a quick hitting option.
Do you like that change there?
We'll see if it works, and then I'll tell you what I think.
Outcome oriented. Jones.
Yeah, it's a great strategy.
That's the kind of analysis we need. Hard hitting, thorough.
I mean, look, the reality is you want to make someone else beat you, and an airmail over the backboard isn't going to be it.
Jovic hasn't hit a 3 this year. Wasn't going to attempt one there. And no bucket. Under 12 media timeout.
I think the reality is it's going to be hard in the half court for Josh Hubbard. They're going to all have 5 sets of eyeballs on Hubbard. The quick action opportunity where he can create his own space and make his own opportunity, that might be the best chance for Josh Hubbard to have a significant impact.
My favorite co-star on Abbott Elementary? Well, I love animals, so of course it's Sweet Cheeks. And that's why I am so excited for the new movie, Hoppers.
You created a fake animal.
Yes!
Which makes the other animals think you're an animal.
Yes! Imagine what they're talking about when we're not around.
Hey, girl. What's up?
I understand you.
All the ways that they try to reach out to us.
I have some things I'd like to say.
Lizard.
I bet it's so cute.
Squish.
The human.
Squish.
Watch Abbott Elementary on ABC and Hulu and catch Disney and Pixar's Hoppers now playing in theaters. Rated PG.
Big year for the SEC once again. We take a look at our season awards, and Darius A. Cup Jr. Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, Dalen Swain. Coming in from Xavier, the Newcomer of the Year, Ruben Chenyelu, the Disruptor, Defensive Player of the Year, Scholar Athlete of the Year, Urban Klobuchar, the Sixth Man of the Year, and Todd Golden, Coach of the Year. A lot of folks debating who should win what, but it's hard to argue when you see what the Florida Gators did by the time it was all said.
I think you have to appreciate how, look out.
Lob to Freeman and a bump and a foul.
You have to appreciate how different the task at hand was this year. You're taking a great front court, but you have a completely new back court, which you don't know whether you can trust or not. They realized they couldn't trust them early. They figured out how to really rely on their bigs, and then the guards started to find the game. So good job by Todd Golden, just wading his way into the water, figuring out how best to maximize the potential of his group.
Chris Jans has waded into the NCAA tournament waters in his first 3 years. He'd have to win 5 games in 5 days to get back this go around, but your point on Florida is spot on.
And if you look at Todd Golden, he's clearly hasn't been stressed enough because he hasn't aged.
He walks into the arena, he just kind of bops in. He looks like he's 35, maybe a team manager.
Who brought the GA to dinner?
Right. Incredible coach. Has gotten it done in Gainesville. Trying to go back-to-back in terms of national championships.
I'm concerned if I'm Mississippi State just watching this game start. They're only down 3, but Auburn has a unique ability to make it a playmaker's game. Mississippi State needs to turn it into a grind. And right now, the floor spacing helps make it a playmaker's game, but Mississippi State's playing into that a little bit as well.
It's 91-85, their first meeting 3 weeks ago. Matsurav, the path and a cut. Fight for it, get it back. Fresh 20, and Hubbard somehow saves it. How did he do that? It was right in front of us.
How'd he do that?
Tied at 17.
The rise up is something you can't prepare for because no one else in the country can simulate it. His ability to go full speed, stop on a dime, rise up. It's incredible.
7 second chance points for the Bulldogs. Williams-Adams. Wild shot in traffic. Corralled by Epps. Matsurav. Hacked to the rack.
Look, there are a lot of things that you can't do that Michael Jordan does. But then there are some things that he did really well that you can improve upon. Watch the pull-up. The pull-up from Josh Hubbard stops on a dime, elevates high. He can get shots off at his size. What do you think he really is? 5'10"? Like,
on a good day, 5'10".
The reality is it doesn't matter. His ability to get you off balance and elevate straight up in the air, he probably jumps higher than anybody else in the country on jump shots. Strong feet. Jordan had really strong feet. Toenails that look like Doritos because of it.
That's not a mental image that I needed on this opening Wednesday of the SEC tournament.
You don't understand, what people don't get is the amount of work and the amount of miles on their feet, and it is starting at a younger age. They're developing a lot of skill, but I give these guys credit for what they play through.
What was your vertical leap? It was up there, wasn't it?
Up there. It was a 39.
Solid.
When you say 40, it just sounds like you're lying. That's like saying I run a 4.44.
So it was 40. You would actually say it's 39 to make it more believable.
That's very true.
I know you. Tied at 17. Auburn needs a win. They are desperate right now. Try to improve the resume. The NCAA tournament. Really unthinkable going back a month ago, 2 months ago with the schedule. Fading down the stretch, it's been an issue for Stephen Pearl's team. Epps swatted away by Pettiford. And then corralled quickly by Murphy, who's back on the floor with the 2 fouls.
That's not a possession in a game that you can win because it leads to just that. A bad possession offensively with Tahad Pettiford, he's just going to pick you apart off the bounce.
15 points per game this year, over 3.5 assists. Went off in their first meeting. A robust 21. Hubbard left open. He's off the mark. Tigers by 2. Pettiford. High dribble, now a long 3. Ballard just mashes the basketball between those 2 big mitts.
You change your voice when you said it. Big mitts.
It's probably how he talks.
There he is.
Ballard inside a jump hook.
I would say if you're Auburn, you're not too concerned with that because Quincy Ballard's not going to beat you. Josh Hubbard will.
Pettiford. Auburn the 12 seed, Bulldogs the 13. Ballard collects and finishes in traffic. That was fast.
Still so much attention on Josh Hubbard. That a strong roll is going to get you open if you're Quincy Ballard.
10-2 run for the Bulldogs. Overton. And the Tigers reclaim the advantage.
That was kind of a stop the bleeding three. They haven't had much going on the last few possessions. Some missed opportunities, but great space offensively, something you can build upon if you're Auburn.
Five on the timer. Epps contested three. Good box out.
Textbook.
By Williams Adams, a freshman. Now to Murphy, and Epps bumped up. The shove results in a whistle and a foul.
Mississippi State, this is a game they can win. If it gets a little choppy, if it gets physical, you've got to keep this Auburn team out of transition, because when they do, they are so dangerous. To Hot Pettiford, extra chance opportunity, good rebound, run out. But then you got a guy who just has all eyeballs on you, Josh Hubbard. He can pick this game up.
For co-star on Abbott Elementary, well, I love animals, so of course it's Sweet Cheeks. And that's why I am so excited for the new movie, Hoppers.
You created a fake animal.
Yes.
Which makes the other animals think you're an animal.
Yes.
Imagine what they're talking about when we're not around.
Hey, girl. What's up? What's up?
I understand you.
All the ways that they try to reach out to us.
I have some things I'd like to say.
Lizard.
I bet it's so cute.
Squish. The human.
Squish.
Watch Abbott Elementary on ABC and Hulu, and catch Disney and Pixar's Hoppers now playing in theaters. Rated PG.
American Idol can change my life, and I'm ready for it.
I love singing. I love getting on the stage.
The excitement. I love the pressure of it.
We're making dreams come true.
Thank you.
American Idol, new Monday on ABC.
Back in Nashville, Tennessee, Bridgestone Arena, Game 2 of the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament 2026 style. And the bracket already. Big Blue Nation, 87-82 against LSU. Be the Cats and the Tigers tomorrow. The winner of our game. We're in our second matchup of the day. Auburn and Mississippi State gets Tennessee, the 5 seed. And the big question, Nate Ament, how much will we see of him here in Music City? Freeman climbed the ladder to grab the rebound, and it's poked out.
I think the ball pressure, the desire to pressure the ball, is really opening up driving lanes and passing lanes for Auburn. They're able to get great looks. It's going to lead to even harder, longer closeouts, which they can attack.
The first offensive rebound comes nearly 13 minutes in. Talking about Auburn, and here's Pettiford. Tigers lead it by 1. Freeman's had some big shots this year. I believe he was in the cylinder. And it goes back to Mississippi State. Chris Jans, year 4. I mean, John, he's won everywhere where it's not easy to win, including New Mexico State and now in Starkville. First 3 campaigns all ending in the big dance. And he's got some work to do, of course, this week.
Well, everybody out there says they want to be different. Well, you got to be different to be different. And he is a different dude. His whole approach, it's very sincere. I mean, he is who he is. He can be as honest as anybody in the country. I think sometimes you have to understand what you're not to be able to be good at this job, and he understands that.
Epps lightning quick with the cut and his second basket. Bulldogs back in front.
He's not trying to play sexy basketball. He wants to play winning basketball, and that means adjusted personnel, and that's the style they play.
I think as soon as their season comes to a close, priority number 1 is making sure Josh Hubbard is able to get back next year for year 4. 3-pointers off the mark by Freeman. And I think those conversations have been underway for the last couple of weeks, if not months. And we talked to Josh about it yesterday. He says he wants to come back, and you would expect him back in Starkville. But if he comes back, we build a statue, rename the road right there by the hump. Josh Hubbard Way, all the stuff.
Could hang the jersey before the season starts. I think this is starting to feel like a game that's beginning to favor Mississippi State. A couple empty possessions for Auburn. Even the good action that led to an empty possession, like, it hurts differently, but they haven't been able to build upon it. And then again, the physicality of the attack for Mississippi State, that's going to be a lot, and it's going to wear you down in a cumulative way.
Can you hang the jersey before the season ends for a player like Josh Hubbard?
Can you pay players to play college basketball?
Hubbard has his 3 rejected, and Pettiford never reestablished himself back inbounds after the block deep in that corner.
He gets bounds. Good block, and you're right. Yeah, he jumps. Nice try.
Little hot potato. It'll take a moment and tend to Philip Jovic. Got some blood on the jersey for number 38. So a 1-point lead for Mississippi State. 6:15 to go. Don't forget a triple header. SEC baseball Saturday. Mississippi State at Arkansas. Top 5 showdown in Fayetteville, Tennessee at Georgia. LSU right here in Nashville against Vanderbilt. 3-pack of games on SEC Network. Also on the ESPN app.
All right, little reset opportunity. If you're Auburn, you've got to start talking about how we can space and attack. Space and attack. The game is slowed down a little bit. Obviously, the attention is always going to be on Josh Hubbard on the offensive end. You just want to disrupt him and limit. You can't stop him. He's going to get his, but you want to limit it.
Bulldogs back to work, John. It feels like both of these teams have been right there in the middle of the ring. They're trying to figure out who's the best. And the Bulldogs with a 3, top of the key. Epps has 7, suddenly a 4-point advantage.
You almost, if you're Mississippi State, you have to show you have balance to be able to force Auburn to play against a balanced attack. There's so much attention on Josh Hubbard. Other guys have to do things to switch the defense up.
Offense has not been a problem this year for Auburn. They've missed 8 of the last 10. And Jovic is going to head to the free throw line. Chris Jan's telling his team to be smarter there. And that's one of the things he talked about with his club in their pregame conversation. And he said, we have to compete for everything, but no bailouts on the free throw line. Yeah. Make them make the shot. And that time, Montserrat was not able to do that.
There's also a challenge for defenders around the perimeters, particularly smaller ones. You want to pressure the ball. You want to apply pressure to the ball. But a lot of times you do pressure to the body, and you allow a team to pick out passes. You've got to be able to physically pressure the basketball, but also take away passing lanes. You've got to disrupt passes.
3 of 7 at the line so far for the Tigers. Jovic a 56% free throw shooter. 4 starts this season. He's appeared in 31 games. 0 of 2. Make it 3 of 8. LSU kind of did that in our first game, and that ended up being a critical component to what happened for Kentucky and what didn't go down for the Tigers. 2 games later tonight, here's Hubbard. And Hubbard, a wild shot on the move.
If anybody's allowed to take him, it's him.
Yeah, Chris Jans is okay there, right? Jovic fights through the double team. And Davis Fleming rips away the rebound. Hubbard. And both teams at a standstill. Keyshawn Hall left open. Jovic tracks it down. Here's Overton. One more try, and pops out of bounds. No foul. Stay with Auburn. 4:47 to go.
That was a few possessions where someone just needed to boot it in the stands. We needed to unplug and plug back in. And Josh Hubbard tried to get to the basket. And they're going to swizzle stick review something here.
Why do you call it the swizzle stick?
I don't know.
Just the spin when
the spin with the finger. I don't know why.
A lot of times you see players do that on plays that you can't really go back and review.
It's become a habit from the last couple of years where it's their way of arguing a call. They make the official look silly by spinning your finger.
Mississippi State's coach is challenging the out of bounds. This play is under review.
They're going to tend to Sean Jones Jr. in the meantime as well. You saw that his hand may have been contacted.
You do see that happen quickly or more often when it's on the ball side. When the coach is there on that side and they see something, coach is on it, they tend to make the decision quickly. You see it.
Epps off the knee.
I think he's right.
I think he's right, too. Veteran officiating crew with Courtney Green, Vladimir Voyard-Tadao, and Carlos Santos. Shouldn't take long.
After review, the challenge for Mississippi State has been successful. It will be Mississippi State's ball on the baseline with a 30-second shot clock. Ball will resume.
We're going to work on his delivery. KB Burdett set the bar high.
I was waiting. KB had a podcast on the sidelines, and we
man.
loved every second of it.
Oh, man, that game went 3 hours. It was more about the explanations we got. God bless him. All right, plug it back in. Hopefully the computer works this time.
You physically said, let's punt the basketball into the stands.
Just stop it, unplug, plug back in. The game needs to reset, and one of these teams needs to find it. I would say the fact that neither team's fouled it favors Mississippi State.
Well, to your point, too, both teams under 30% from the floor. Matsura still on the court. So is Epps. No start-stop. Jones appears to be okay.
Nice.
And we'll get the bounce. So all of a sudden, 28-22 MSU.
That was 4-on-4 basketball. It was 4-on-4 basketball because they're so worried about Josh Hubbard that you space out, play 4-on-4. That's difficult to cover.
11-3 run now by the Bulldogs. Auburn just 5 points in the last 9 minutes.
So not good.
I don't believe that that's acceptable for Stephen Pearl. Hall lobs Jovic, and he was fouled. Davis Fleming dramatic with the reaction.
Good possession for Mississippi State. Mississippi State needed it. The game needed it. SEC fans needed it. Good spacing, 4-on-4. Good luck defending 4 high-quality basketball players in an entire half court. Capitalizing the attention Josh Hubbard gets.
Modelo tastes good, but that first degree in the family Modelo. That promotion Modelo. Or that traveled all day to surprise Abuela Modelo. The one you earned is just better. That Modelo is the mark of a fighter.
It's time. The Genesis signature event going on.
Florida. I'll take Florida, and here's why. They've figured out who they are. And again, to figure out who you are, you got to accept what you're not. You're not a guard-dominated team. You don't have the dogs that you had last year that took you to a championship. You accept what you are. You are a lengthy team. Everything you do is built around that. The more you do that, the easier the game gets for Boogie Fland and Xavier Lee. I think that's what we've seen over the last few weeks, maybe the last month and a half with Florida. So in this case, also considering I'm leaving today and won't be here to deal with it, I'll take Florida.
I think that's a safe thought, right? Because they haven't lost, it feels like, since December.
I just think they have the most obvious advantage, and they don't have to do anything special to establish the game in a way that they're able to win. Does that make sense?
I believe so. Of course, they did lose to Auburn at home, but they've been a different team since then. And those things are going to happen. That's one of the resume-building victories for head coach Stephen Pearl. 28-23 after the make, and Mississippi State now 7-1 verse. I'm going to go back to the Keyshawn Murphy technical foul, and I don't know that Auburn's been the same team since the blow-by past his old coach. He was teed up pretty quickly, now with 2 fouls, and was on the bench, and Auburn has kind of been playing second fiddle since. Hubbard, crafty maneuver off of Williams-Adams to keep it with his squad with 8 to shoot.
And he helps him up, too. It's a smart play. He's like, by the way, sorry about that.
I mean, the good thing there is, though, it didn't go off the face, and you could aim for the head, and that would be a problem, right?
Face in other areas are a problem.
Correct.
The issue, you go back to that 3-point shot by Keyshawn Hall that ends up leading to the technical. It disrupts a little momentum that you're trying to build. And then you want to build the momentum and carry that throughout the course of the game. Got to get one up.
Matsura 3. And Pettiford collects. Tigers down 5. The offense has an MIA in the last 10 minutes of game time. Jones a steal. Here comes Hubbard. You know what's happening here.
You get it taken from you to Todd Pettiford. And the one thing you're trying to avoid is Josh Hubbard getting hot. And you give him a freebie in transition because of the turnover. That's a killer.
Ball sends it out to Pettiford. He'll swing it to Williams-Adams. Couple of long strides, no. 10 on the shot clock, under 3 to go in the half.
you want to force, if you're Mississippi State, you want to force Auburn to make physical plays, not athletic plays. Athletic plays mean you have room to work and you can play freely. If you turn this thing into a physical contest, it will favor Mississippi State.
Auburn's missed 12 of its last 14. Pettiford. Davis Fleming jumps in for the rebound. Tigers just 2 wins since the end of January. Kind of a stagnant start. Hubbard with 13.
I mean, the timing of his both jump and release, but it's also the little lookaways to keep the defense off balance. He's remarkable.
Jovic hasn't made a 3 all season. An awkward bounce pass back to sophomore Pettiford. Overton left open after Hubbard fell down. Who wants the rebound? Williams-Adams.
I mean, Hubbard just massages it kind of side to side. You come down, you're on your heels, and then you're side to side on the outside of your feet. And you think you've got him stopped, and you think you've got defense set. It doesn't matter. You have to lock in. He just turns a corner. He takes it into 3 and elevates and shoots over the top. Like, it's incredible watching him be so impactful with his size or lack thereof.
We saw one of his outbursts early in the year at Texas, an overtime comeback win for the ages. He scored at that point in time. I think it tied his career high at 38, and we talked to him post-game in Moody. He took the headset off. He looked at me and he said, heart over height.
Yeah,
and that's how he plays the game.
Yeah, you haven't forgotten it.
No, that's my mantra as well.
I think you got a big back tattoo coming, heart over height.
Easy, big fella. Lead back to 8. It's just crossing the line. A chore.
Well, he was open for a reason.
All right, looking at Auburn on the bubble, they need to win at least 2 here. Not the start that Stephen Pearl wanted. What are you seeing?
No, what I see is almost lifeless at times. And it goes back to the way this game started. They came out hot. They spaced. They moved the basketball. They attacked. The technical foul almost deflating, and it allows Josh Hubbard to start to impact the game. They need to build some momentum into this and then ride it out. Similar to what we talked about with Kentucky, right? Establish and sustain. They've got to do that.
Good look that time by Overton. Get back his own miss.
Okay.
And delivers in traffic. Okay, so 33-27.
When I say make it a playmakers contest, it starts with the space that you create for one another. It's not driving just to score. It's driving to draw an additional defender and then playing out and creating an advantage out of that pass.
Josh Hubbard off the left side. Good job by Freeman to maintain his body control. Hall, a euro.
Oh, what a play.
Off of Keyshawn Hall and out of bounds.
Jay Knapp's terrific job of gapping as the ball handler or the guy who's receiving the pass. He's coming your way. He gaps backwards. He keeps space so he doesn't get into the driver. Great, just great hands. Play it right off of the, I believe that was, is that Hall?
Hall was the initiator with the shot. Epps swatted by Pettiford, and he cannot believe it. Foul was called on the blow-by directly from the left.
And Epps knows that wasn't the right look, and everybody, both teams looking, nope. You know my favorite call?
The no call.
Yep. When in doubt.
Pettiford talked to Epps right afterwards, and Epps would look the other direction there for a moment. The ball is never going to be dishonest.
I mean, it's not really a shot. He's reading the bottom defender. That's why he's going up for that shot, but he's not paying attention to the fact that Todd Pettiford's right behind him.
0-2.
Ball don't lie.
Big moment now for Auburn. Under a minute to go in the first half, game 2 of the SEC tournament. And an offensive foul. Williams-Adams shuffling the feet on the attempted screen.
We talk so much about simple things, fundamental things like wait until the screener's set to move. Well, Todd Pettiford got moving a little too fast. Screener really wasn't set. Even more so when a point of emphasis for officiating is clean up screening. You've got to be patient and let him set so that can't get call. That's a brutal one when you're trying to build into the half.
Pettiford to the bench. Second foul on Williams-Adams. Let's see what kind of tricks Josh Hubbard has up his sleeve here. Bottled up. Still gets it away. And an air ball. Outstanding defense. Mashalik. Boy, he's a winning basketball player for Stephen Pearl, and we thought we would see more of him. And he's made a ton of little plays today that maybe don't show up in the box score.
But isn't that a situation where you would consider just taking a timeout? As you head into the break, get a good possession. A good possession allows you to get set. You don't want to shift momentum to Auburn because that's a team that once they find it, they can build upon it pretty quickly.
And we've seen that at times this year in those wins against Florida, St. John's, Kentucky, Arkansas. Tigers got to have this game today, trailing by 6. 5-second differential between the clocks. Pettiford delivers the deep three. And a timeout on the floor. One possession game, 12.1 to go. And we are back. Well, Pettiford's had so many big moments in his Auburn career in the postseason. You go back last year. Can he get hot now? Epps. Top of the key and short. Tigers claim the rebound. Williams-Adams. 33-30. And Josh Hubbard got it done for Mississippi State, although not in the quite same way he did the first meeting.
Yeah, not entirely efficient, but if I'm Auburn, I feel good about that, but I'm still concerned. You've got to maintain attention to Josh Hubbard. You've got to adjust to the other guys that are starting to have an impact, and you've got to make this less of a physical contest.
Auburn 3-13 when trailing at the break, but they closed the first half on a 7-0 run. Let's get you up to Peter Burns, Pat Bradley, Damian Fishback, Ron Slay. Gentlemen.
Indeed, that is our crew. Welcome to the Academy.
By 3, and Auburn first-year head coach Stephen Pearl, nice enough to be mic'd up for us today as we go all access.
Lock in, lock in, lock in. Hey, this has got to be a great group rebounding. All 5 guys got to go hit a body and secure the rebounds, all right? We're getting clean looks. We just got to make shots. Getting great looks. Getting great looks. We need more collisions at the rim, all right? That was a great collision at the rim. Okay, nothing easy. Nothing easy. Make them earn everything. You guys are doing a great job defensively. You got to continue to trust that while we're getting our offense going.
Stephen Pearl's team shot just 36% in the first half, yet only trails by 3 after a 7-0 burst at the end of our first 20 minutes. John Crispin, Roy Philpott. Auburn's got a shot here. They got to get a win and find a way.
Well, I think it's really simple. Like, what game is being played? Is it the type of game that we can win? Because Mississippi State wants to make this a physical contest, and they've been able to do that, slow it down. Auburn needs it to be free-flowing. Now, Mississippi State's physicality is not just on the defensive end. You'll see it on the offensive side of the ball as well. They will run through you. Steve Pearl was talking about, the contact at the rim for Auburn, but really it's Mississippi State seeking it out, getting the shoulder into the chest of a defender and just imposing their will on the offensive end, and then getting back, getting defense up, and then being more physical on the defensive end. That's the game that Mississippi State can win. Auburn's got to find it free-flowing.
You see the 36% from the floor for Auburn. Paint points advantage, Bulldogs. And in terms of second chance points, a 10-4 favor for MSU. The pump fake right out of the gate. Quincy Ballard, the hesitation and reverse.
Yeah, Keyshawn Murphy lost a little something since the technical foul. Hasn't scored and got completely lost on that possession.
Well, Murphy had the first 7 points of the game. The blow-by passes former head coach Chris Jans. A technical foul. Has not been the same since. And Pettiford contested 3. That's an air ball. Open look for Epps. How about Mississippi State? Right out of the gate.
Pettiford takes a bad shot where all he can do is almost try to coax a foul. He hits the deck, and then you give Mississippi State numbers.
John, the lead goes from 3 to 8 in less than a minute. Auburn a stagnant start. Stephen Pearl said yesterday, we've got to win at least 2 here in Nashville. We go to the dance, and Keyshawn Hall finally gets something going, just his second basket.
Physical drive by Hall, getting his body into the defender. but they need space to operate and maximize their potential.
You have to believe that Coach Pearl also challenged Pettiford and Hall at halftime. Epps no, and the box out by Murphy. Ahead to Hall. Monster step rejected by Jones. And Freeman corrals it. He'll shoot a pair.
Epic block. But if you have good defense and you can force tough shots, and this is not a good one. Todd Pettiford takes a dive. Now you got numbers. Get out and run. Nobody, you got to stop the basketball. It's Josh Hubbard, but you give Jaden Epps a wide open three. It's not how you want to start the second half. Just think that, can you recognize what's a good look and what's not? At this point of the season, how do you not know instinctively where the defender is and whether it's a good shot or not?
You talked about the sense of urgency for Kentucky today.
Yeah.
Can Auburn recognize the sense of urgency right here and now? Because this season will be defined by what happens in these 20 minutes. If you lose, and you're going to be out of the big dance. And that was really unthinkable for the majority of this season, yet here we are.
I mean, look, when your coach is talking to the media and selling, making a case for Auburn beating the NCAA tournament, you should have urgency.
I think those buttons have been pressed. Will this team respond? Short to Epps. Shot clock down to 7. Jones, pass is picked off by Murphy. Overton, that's a 3.
Good with that. He came in with balance. His head was up. Why? Because there was one guy to defend 2. The corner was another option for him. He looked him off and was able to step into an open 3. It's the best look you're going to get.
Kevin Overton, first player for Auburn in double figures. He's got 10. 2.5 minutes in, poked away by Freeman.
You've got to be able to capitalize on these opportunities. Good defense, a run out, make 1, cover 2. Josh Hubbard in a tough spot. Keep your head up. Make Josh Hubbard make a decision. No commitment. He's able to walk into a rhythm 3.
So now a 6-0 burst by Auburn. 1 possession game. The SEC viewed as the best conference in America according to Ken Palm and Bart Torvik. Corner 3, no. Corralled by Freeman. Auburn's resume includes 16 games against Quad 1 foes, and just like that, we're tied.
That's the game Auburn can win. Make it free-flowing. Skill-based gives them an advantage.
Stolen away by Murphy. Big possession for the Tigers. Hall for the lead. Freeman on the offensive glass. And a shove and a foul. And War Eagle on the move here. Last couple of minutes, an 8-0 run the last 120 seconds, John.
Oh, you're starting to find it, and you're going to realize that we're not going to win in a physical contest. We need to make it fluid and free-flowing, allow us to explore the skill we have, skill advantage, I should say, that Auburn has over the majority of Mississippi State. You've got to open the floor up. You've got to make good decisions. You can't give easy opportunities for Mississippi State.
Overton left open from 15.
I would get Josh Hubbard back involved here. They've done a good job of just making catches tough.
Auburn's defense has ramped up here. That quick 5-0 run by the Bulldogs. And Hubbard barreled over Pettiford. And it's Pettiford called for the foul.
Well, I think Auburn's plan right now is best. He's a lot easier to cover if he doesn't catch the ball. And you would rather play 4-on-4 and make somebody else win the game than Josh Hubbard. I'm telling you, that 35 points in the first half leaves a mark. And my concern coming in was if you do too much to take Josh Hubbard away, do you in a way limit your own team?
So far, that has not happened on this comeback attempt by Auburn. Epps to Hubbard. He wants it. He'll take it. And the tip-in is good. Montserrat snuck in there. Davis Fleming was right behind him, but the basket goes to Montserrat. His first points. Now it's Freeman the spin. And a foul called. Murphy will bang the chest right after he hit the deck.
A little critical of Murphy, but his effort inside has been high right now. That's all you can ask for right now. Let's find the game. Let's do it with a high motor.
John, I think they want to look at that sequence. The foul was on Davis Fleming. That's his second. And Murphy fell down pretty hard right there in the middle of the paint.
Could you imagine if we took an NBA game from the early 90s and said, call it like you would today? We'd be in reviews all day.
The bad boys of the Pistons. That would be interesting. Now the Tigers and Bulldogs, one more look as we go out to break, and the jersey tug. As we step aside in Nashville, Keyshawn Murphy dapping himself up. The championship hardware set to be extended later this weekend. Our first day underway in Nashville, 2026 SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. John Crispin, Roy Philpott, a common foul was the ruling. Out of the timeout, Overton delivers the three.
Overton's the type of guy, when he gets one to go, watch out. He's seeking the next one out, and I love it.
First lead for the Tigers since it was 22-21. Joe Lenardi tells us a win by Auburn today and a loss by Indiana against Northwestern in the Big Ten tournament would put the Tigers back in the field of 68. And Matsura is going to be fouled by Hall.
I think if you give up a basket on an out-of-bounds underneath, I can't really say it's great execution. I think it's poor defense. You go over these things all the time in practice. You know exactly where he's going, but if you're not prepared for him to rise and fire, then you're not doing the job.
Bulldogs 2 of 8 at the strike. Matsura struggled at the free throw line this season. Under 50%. Now Chris Janz's team upset the Tigers in Starkville just 21 days ago. Trying to do the same thing here. 0 of 2 is Matsura. Tigers get it back. 3-point game at halftime in favor of the Bulldogs. Then a 5-0 burst, and now Auburn has rallied. Pettiford in rhythm. Overton wants it, takes it, and that's a three.
Just said it. Once he finds it, he will seek it out aggressively. A little pump fake side dribble, creates rhythm and gets another to go.
7 in the first half, 9 in the second. Hubbard is short, and Pettiford saves it to Kevin Overton. New life for Auburn in the midst of a 14-2 run. Make it 16-2. Keyshawn Murphy back in the chat after the first 7 points of the game.
That entire possession started with Tahad Pettiford not letting the ball go out of bounds. I absolutely love that. It's a team that wants to get this thing up and down the floor. That ball goes out of bounds. That's a reset. Defense for Mississippi State is set. No, you save it to your own player. You push. You have an advantage. You've got numbers and you attack. So many times you see this. Guys just go ho-hum, let the ball go out of bounds. No, get down and attack. That's where Auburn has the best opportunity to win. And Overton, once he gets a couple to go, he is dangerous. He
lead to begin our final 20 minutes. Inside McGee, physical at the rim. It'll stay with the Bulldogs. Where's Josh Hubbard right now?
Josh Hubbard needs to get the ball in his hands, and they need to create space, and he needs to just make a play. I think he could live at the free throw line, given his ability to get his body in and turn corners.
McGee, center fielder, set up the offense. Now it's Epps. Hubbard's yet to score in the second half. Matsura. And Auburn defensively looking like a different team these last 5 minutes.
Hubbard's too good, too important to be a decoy. In that possession, he was a decoy far from the ball.
Pettiford. Think about some of the big shots he made last year in that run by the Tigers to the Final Four. Swatted away out of bounds. It'll stay with Auburn. 4.5 on the shot clock.
That looked a little more like the Tahad Pettiford we know, right? Just kind of rhythm up, and then break you down, throw a lob.
You think about how talented that team was. Janai Boone, Dylan Cardwell, Miles Kelly, Murphy. Got it to go. Everything falling for the Tigers.
If he gets going, look out.
Josh Hubbard, different sense of urgency here. Stop and pop. Not this time. Murphy clears.
I like that they put length on Hubbard, though. They trusted one on Hubbard and just said, hey, force the toughest shot possible. That's pro basketball. You can't stop everything. Just force the toughest one.
Pettiford to Murphy. Three-pointer on the way. And Epps clears. Josh Hubbard 0 for 3 in this second half. 6.5 minutes in. 13 in our first 20. And off the leg of Epps. Stephen Pearl, All Access. Have a listen.
Hey, real quick, before he'll jump in the offense. It's all about our defense.
This is where we gotta lock in.
Has to. This is where we need perfect possessions. This is where we need perfect possessions.
John, call me crazy. To me, it's a great thing when the players are leading the charge verbally in the timeout.
I mean, they weren't really leading. He was leading, but they were like, yeah, coach, yeah. It's good, though. And the only question is define perfect possession, because I think the perfect possession is not outcome-oriented.
Overton.
There you go.
He's on a heater. Kevin Overton with 19. The lead now at 11.
It's not often how you draw it up. It's whether you're locked in, communicating, scrambling well, not overly chasing the basketball. That's good defense right there. Not the outcome you want, but I would say that's a pretty good possession. The ball didn't move, and you forced Josh Hubbard to make a really difficult shot.
He's got 15. They are looking at Keyshawn Murphy, the end of the Auburn bench, after his Tigers went on a 21-2 run.
This is just good stuff. And look, I'm going to give them credit. Say, Auburn's aware of Kevin Overton knocking down some shots and feeling really good about it. If you're not aware of it, you shouldn't be on the floor. Like, the awareness, and you see that a lot with one-year teams. This has kind of been an adjustment. You've got to be aware of the hot hand and play to it. Pro ball does that.
Well, Overton got his thoughts organized, delivered the three. This time, the elbow jumper, he was too close. Here comes Josh Hubbard. You know the Bulldogs will not go away quietly, nor will Josh Hubbard. Too strong on the runner. Auburn has found a different gear. Freeman to his knees and dribbled it straight out of bounds.
I mean, that was like holding your hand up in the air and saying, my turn. You know, Lord of the Flies, the conch. He got past the conch and no one else could talk. No, you've got to still play basketball. You don't just clear out and roll it out. If anybody's going to do that, give it to Kevin Overton.
I didn't have Lord of the Flies on the bingo card today in game 2.
Cover it all
here we are. Thank you. Hubbard to McGee. And the shot clock already under 10. Not Ballard's spot. McGee, well short, a chore right before the buzzer.
Yeah, bit of a gift, but you talk about perfect possessions again. Don't define a perfect possession by the outcome. That was good defense. Build upon that if you're Auburn.
Tigers led by 11 moments ago. Now it's at 7. Jovic will take his time. Outside of Pettiford. Back to a 10-point game.
I don't know why you leave Tahad Pettiford. He's able to walk into it. You're telling me Quincy Ballard can't handle Jovic down low. They almost double, and you leave Tahad Pettiford with a rhythm 3.
11:22 to go in a game the Auburn Tigers absolutely have to have. So far, so good. A double-digit advantage. Auburn on the bubble with work to do here in Nashville.
Modelo tastes good, but that got the electrical working Modelo. That landed the trick Modelo. Or that can finally sit down Modelo. The one you earned is just better. That Modelo is the mark of a fighter.
It's time. The Genesis signature event. going on now. Get 2.99% APR for 60 months on select Genesis vehicles. Exclusively your tri-state Genesis retailers.
That's right. I'm getting in shape for the Oscars. And I'm not the only one.
We're on a mission.
Come on, just 12 more miles. Let's go.
Just play the game.
People's Choice Award won a marathon last week.
Who's my favorite co-star on Abbott Elementary? Well, I love animals, so of course it's Sweet Cheeks. And that's why I am so excited for the new movie, Hoppers.
You created a fake animal.
Yes.
Which makes the other animals think you're an animal.
Yes.
Imagine what they're talking about when we're not around.
Hey, girl. What's up? What's up?
I understand you.
All the ways that they try to reach out to us.
I have some things I'd like to say.
Lizard.
I bet it's so cute.
Squish the human.
Squish.
Watch Abbott Elementary on ABC and Hulu and catch Disney and Pixar's Hoppers now playing in theaters. Rated PG.
Hockey is here. The spinner.
Double bye. Double bye is a big deal. You get that extra rest, and you're automatically there on Friday, which is a great spot to be in.
Selfishly, I would love to see Alabama and Arkansas go at it again. That was probably my favorite game of the year.
To be the double overtime thriller. How many overtimes was it? It was more than I can count, but well into the triple figures. Freeman, coast to coast. And here comes Auburn now extending its lead, its largest advantage at 12.
That's where Josh Hubbard just needs to have the ball. He needs to be the initiator. If he needs to give it up, he's got to get it back.
McGee for three. Big response.
Everything should start with Josh Hubbard from here on out. He will draw two, and even if it's just shade the defense your way, McGee will get an open shot so long as Josh Hubbard has the ball in his hands.
Overton's had the hot hand, 19 points. 5 of 8 from three-point range. Freeman wants to get into the mix. And McGee has it ping-pong to Achor. Achor from downtown.
Okay.
Buries the three. 28% three-point shooter. And the lead down to 6.
I mean, it at least looked like a 28% three-point shooter, but he gets it to go. And you need to just find a little momentum, and made baskets allow you to get defense set. Now switching things up, sitting back in a bit of a zone.
Chris Jans will switch it up like you said. Williams Adams, I don't think so. Met with resistance. Achor off of Ballard and straight to Overton.
All right, we need a dead ball to see that block again.
I was shielded by Courtney Green, I believe. And McGee comes up with the steal. That's going to be a foul on AU.
Yeah, we talk about the 35 points in the first half for Josh Hubbard leaving a mark. This one's tough to overcome.
I mean, Jones just stole the cookie midair.
That is so awesome. I mean, for Jones at Mississippi State. By the way, us mere mortals hitting the ground like that, we don't just pop up. Now, my pride would get me back up, but
maybe a minute later.
Yeah, I'd be hurting later.
Jones, we mentioned all 4 years in Starkville. Former walk-on. The job he's done for head coach Chris Jans in his career. Hubbard! Here comes Josh Hubbard.
The one time you don't shade his way. Now, you shade his way to make him go where you want him to go. The one time they get spaced and they don't shade him, they're playing him straight up, he finds a way to win this battle. And it's the elevation.
You know, we've seen Auburn a couple of times this year. All of their games, it feels like within the game itself, they play 3 or 4 different games.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's the problem. I mean, look, the game's fluid, so that could happen at times, but whether you recognize it or not is the problem.
9-0 burst by Mississippi State. Bulldogs back in it. Lob is picked off. Williams Adams will chase it down. Shot clock at 8. Who wants it here? KO time. And Achor was held by Williams Adams. That'll be his third.
Good urgency defensively, particularly with McGee on the ball. He was physical. He was unscreenable. I wish more guys at the college level were unscreenable. And you're unscreenable by hitting whoever tries to screen you and fighting over it so they don't do it again.
Every single coach listening to your voice there just stood up and applauded. Hubbard for the tie. And Murphy able to leapfrog for the board. We hear that from everyone. Oh, a spin by Overton. Let's stay on this end. 8.5 to go.
Well, unscreenable eliminates so many issues with the biggest play in the game right now. It's a ball screen. Everything's a ball screen, a handoff. Well, don't allow yourself to be screenable. Sometimes that starts with early position, jumping to it, getting your body in, forcing them out.
Pettiford, short, Ballard, able to claim the rebound. 56-53.
He's done this a lot where Hubbard starts in the far corner, but he's got to be involved.
He's calling out the set. McGee will look that direction. Pettiford picks the pocket. Todd Pettiford. Up and in, and a chance for three.
Too much calculation. If you're McGee, you're sitting there trying to initiate something, but everything's going away from Josh Hubbard, and this isn't the play you want. But for Todd Pettiford, this is the game he plays. The more free flowing this game gets, like if there's anybody on the floor I don't want to play pickup ball against, it's actually not Josh Hubbard, it's Todd Pettiford. He's just got a little something extra in his game when it gets free flowing.
10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists today for Todd Pettiford. And he's done it kind of in a quiet fashion, but he's been oh so productive in a 6-point lead.
Where he needs to improve is his feel. Feel situations, feel moments in the game. Understand that Kevin Overton just hit 3 threes in a row, and do something to get him another. Drive at Overton's man. Those are things that make everybody else better, but it also frees you up. Who's the best screener in the NBA? It's Steph Curry.
Pettiford, those 10 points. Auburn forcing the turnover. Murphy laying down, executing the chest pass. Not sure how that worked, but he got it to. Here's Pettiford again, the runner, sensing the contact. And Epps somehow collects it.
That's okay. That's a good play by Pettiford.
And that was in the flow and in
good
rhythm.
Low. Good.
Under 7.5 to go, game 2.
You know, I would define that as a clappable miss.
Laughable miss, not a bad thing. Got the good look, just couldn't finish. Stolen by the Tigers. Now Freeman and Hall were right there. Well, you feel momentum kind of teetering. Yes. Who wants it here? Keyshawn Hall on the approach was hammered. Stephen Pearl meeting Todd Pettiford right at the free throw line. The lead is 6, Auburn shooting 2.
So many different strategies you can take when defending Josh Hubbard. The bottom line is just make it difficult. If you make it difficult, make them earn every shot. You did your job well. It's not about always getting a stop. It's about making the shots he takes tough ones. And they have been tough ones tonight. No 35 points in that first half of this one. Josh Hubbard has had to work for every basket he's got. And at times, you see him starting in the far corner where he's a decoy.
35 points in the first half of their first meeting. Now in the last 3 halves, you see Auburn has put the clamps down in a more authoritative way. He does have 18, a couple of assists, and Stephen Pearl, his team has to have this game. They have to win today to stay on the bubble. Joe Lunardi tells us a win by Auburn and a loss by Indiana in the Big Ten tournament against Northwestern. That game tips off later this afternoon. We'll put Auburn on the right side, but then there's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to win again against Tennessee, who gets the winner of this matchup.
Well, I think there's a lot on Stephen Pearl this year. I mean, so many things we can talk about, but the reality is right now he is managing it well. His demeanor's been good, and I think it's empowering for a team that needs it.
Here's Epps. Get the bounce, 60-55. Epps with 12.
Overton on the floor, so space is a little different. Murphy's got to be involved at some point.
2 more games later tonight. Kentucky defeated LSU by 5 earlier today in our first matchup. Davis Fleming collects a rebound after the miss in the corner. Hubbard hiding out in that corner for Epps the other way. And Epps on a sweeping hook shot on the run.
Just still think, I mean, ride or die. Josh Hubbard.
Keyshawn Hall. It hasn't been his game, just 6 points, 2 of 7 shooting. And Hubbard's pass is going to be picked off. Freeman able to raise his arms, and that was enough for the deflection.
Really good defense in the transition for Keyshawn Murphy, who stayed and shaded right behind Josh Hubbard.
Auburn has missed 7 of its last 8. Pettiford make it 8 of 9.
Just no reason. Sit down, pivot, make a pass.
And John, you can feel this game kind of going back into that offensive funk that we had earlier.
And then that happens. Bad shot on one end where there's just nothing going, and you're looking over at the bench going, hey, I mean, what do you want me to do? And then you get beat by Josh Hubbard, who a little circuit shot, still not an easy one.
Some razzle-dazzle, back to a 1-possession game. Hubbard with 20. Freeman wide open, and a good find on the Auburn big Keyshawn Murphy.
Keyshawn Murphy's not going to get ball pressure by Ballard, so he's going to be able to pick out his pass if the action is good.
And Freeman called for the foul. He'll help out Josh Hubbard. Now tomorrow, right here on the SEC Network, the ESPN app, our next SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament down in Greenville, 6 Eastern, 5 Central. You'll get never-before-seen footage and sound from players, as well as coaches. A real behind-the-scenes look. Texas winning the SEC Championship in impressive fashion over South Carolina. Longhorns figured to be a #1 seed in March Madness.
I think Ballard sitting on the block is slowing their offense down.
Murphy's right there. Epps. And Williams-Adams on the run. He'll get it back. Overton passes up the open look. Hall connects. Big shot for Keyshawn Hall.
That is good ball movement, good patience, really seek out a better shot. But on the offensive end here, Mississippi State's got to figure out whether they want to play with open space and let Josh Hubbard go to work, or put Ballard on the block. And you know my term, block-upiers. Block-upiers can slow your attack down, takes all the space away. But a good defensive possession, and you run out and roll. I think Kevin Overton's going to shoot that. He's been knocking him down. Go to Hall. It's a much better performance in the second half for Auburn, partially because their defense has allowed them to create stuff on the offensive as a ball mover. Handoff situations allow them to break down off the bounce. And Mississippi State coming out with a smaller lineup, smart, open the floor up. Ballard has been occupying the block and stalling offense.
2 more games tonight. Second game underway here in our second half. 4 minutes and change remaining. Epps a little hesitation. Davis Fleming saves the possession. It'll stay here, 13 to shoot.
All right, this is more Auburn-esque to me. Good scramble defense, you know, talking, slapping 5, pointing at each other. That's the fun style that we've really seen over the last few years, where it's free-flowing, yes, and they play with great confidence on the offensive end, but it starts with their ability to defend.
Here's Epps, right side of the paint, and Epps delivers. 65-59, under 4 to go. Epps with 14. Bounce pass, and Freeman up and down. Murphy, boy, pinballed around inside forever. Hall bumped on the 3 by McGee.
They say in football, best play is a broken play. There was nothing going. You had 2 guys just playing hot potato in the paint. No room, not even in space to get the ball up. You just get it out. Now you're forcing a scramble defensively where McGee just overcommits to the shot.
I mean, that's 27 seconds of really good defense.
That's where coaching's got to stink, man. Like, you do everything right. You force the ball into a bad situation, you kick it out, you foul a 3-point shooter.
Hall with 3 free throws. Coming up, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. The SEC Now crew will have a complete breakdown of our game. Highlights, analysis, interviews, coaches, and players. Perhaps a sleigh ride involved at some point. We shall see.
I don't have anything cool.
I mean,
we'll work on that for next year.
Yeah, that's an off-season conversation.
Got to remember, though.
Now, Keyshawn Hall finds a way to deliver. Hasn't been pretty at times, but Auburn's lead back to 9. The bubble watch is officially on. Can the SEC get 11 teams in the field this season? Auburn is probably going to determine whether or not that will happen.
If I'm going Josh Hubbard time, I'm first going to tell the officials you've got to call two-hand checking. That's the only way they can keep him in front. Kevin Overton had 2 hands on the ball handler and forced him into a tough shot.
Tigers have led by as many as 12. Overton back at it.
Why not?
Another 3 for Kevin Overton. 22 here in Nashville. Hubbard pops out to Overton, and Auburn in position here, 71-59. And Kevin Overton with 15 in this second half. Number 1 for the Tigers.
Amazing how quickly it went from a 6-point game to feeling like desperation time. 2.5 left to play. Plenty of basketball.
He checked. And Epps with a race to grab it. Under 2.5 to go. Bulldogs got to go. Epps' 3 off the mark.
Feels like desperation time. It's too early for that.
Now the Bulldogs and their run to 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments. Now certainly in jeopardy without winning 5 in 5 days. Not on the bubble. Not under consideration. An incredible job by Chris Jans this year. Just hasn't been what he had hoped for. Hubbard's been exceptional.
Well, I think you've got to consider what he doesn't have, who happens to be playing on another roster.
And in this game,
I'm telling you, like, that is significant. That is significant when you're trying to build a roster and you lose that. You are a different team overnight. And Kevin Overton from 3 has just been terrific. That's good action, good screening. You get confused whether you're switching or not. That's just too easy. And yes, Stephen Pearl's got to love that. High five.
Not ready to start thinking about Tennessee just yet, but a step in that direction. A 14-point lead. Hubbard at the line. He said point blank, we have to win 2, and if there are a couple of bid stealers, it may be 3, and he has voiced that to his team. They know coming into this game today what is needed. There is no shying away from the bubble conversation at this late hour.
I'll say I was sort of there as a sophomore in college at Penn State. We knew we needed to at least win 1, but 2 would guarantee us in. We ended up winning 2, beating Michigan State. The only difference was we weren't expected to. We were Penn State basketball. This is Auburn basketball, and they've had a ridiculous run. So there's a lot of expectation and pressure. I get it.
Tigers changed the complexion of this game with a 21-2 run right at the early stages of the second half. After the Bulldogs led by 8. Pettiford, underhand delivery, the dunk no by Murphy. And he was fouled.
There's a fun factor attached to Auburn playing well. There are some teams that when you watch them, they're like, oh, they're just locked in. They're dominant. There's a fun factor when Auburn's playing well. And I've got to think a big piece of that is when they're home and that fan base gets rolling, they have fun making you look bad. I love that about some teams.
Yeah, the Jungle Neville Arena.
I haven't been there. Hint, hint.
Well, Stephen Pearl extended the invitation to start next year for John Crispin to make his triumphant debut down on the Plains. It is one of the best environments in the sport. Even in a season that hasn't gone the way that Stephen Pearl would have liked, Murphy will get 1 more. This is a team that, if this score holds, Tennessee's in the way, and that's a big Tennessee team. I'm curious what's going on with Nate Amen, but 1 more victory, and you're not off the bubble, but you're in a position to where Selection Sunday, okay, we've got something to watch, and let's see how it shakes out.
Let's say they beat Tennessee, they're in.
In your mind, that's enough.
Yeah, I do. I just think the quality of wins matter. Who you are capable of beating makes a better tournament.
Now Auburn has faced 11 Final Four coaches this year for a first-year head coach. And we mentioned the Quad 1 games, 16 different contests against Quad 1 foes, and wins against Florida, arguably the most impressive win of any team in college basketball this year. There's some of that to dissect.
I mean, there's other good, beating Michigan's a great win. At Michigan, that's a great win. But you're right. Auburn's got one of the best wins in the country right now, particularly when you consider how good that Florida team's played.
I mean, they've been at a different level. We'll see the Gators here for the first time Friday.
I really want to see how some of the younger coaches, Stephen Pearl included, can really start to develop an identity that you can recruit to, you can build consistency with. And that's stuff that fan bases get behind, because what they built under Bruce Pearl will be different. It'll be different because the world's different, right? We are in professionalized college sport, and there's still a lot of changes coming. So you've got to find an identity that you can bring players to be a part of. It helps you identify the right players anyway.
Another miss at the free throw line. Note for the rest of the tournament, make your free throws. LSU struggled. The 5-point loss to Kentucky today at the line. The Bulldogs today 5 of 15.
Yep.
Trailing by 14 as time winds down.
And good for Auburn not using jump defenses against Josh Hubbard. I think you take that as a serious win.
Overton. Murphy. The hammer. Well, you know that feels good for number 3, Keyshawn Murphy, against his old team and Josh Hubbard. Blocked by Murphy. Well, a different outcome the second go around between those two.
I mean, the way he's acting, you want to ask the question, was it that bad? Thought you had a nice run. I appreciate the competitiveness, though. Yeah, he likes it.
Jones, that should do it. And there were some tense moments. There was a halftime deficit, but Auburn finds a way. Tigers close the game on a 12-2 run and get the job done 77-61 to stay on the bubble.
By the way, Tahan Pettiford just made the last basket with about nothing left on the clock. Good for Steve Pearl. I know he's carried a lot. Expectations, also